The afternoon sun streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the airport cafe, creating patterns of light across the worn tile floor. Jessica Harper sat at a small table near the gate area, nursing a coffee she couldn't really afford, while her 7-year-old daughter Maya slept against her shoulder, exhausted from their early morning start. At 34, Jessica had learned to find moments of rest wherever she could. The past 5 years as a single mother had taught her resilience born of necessity, working 2 jobs while raising Maya alone after her ex-husband had left when their daughter was 2. This trip to visit her sister in Seattle was the first vacation they had taken in 3 years. Funded by tax refund money Jessica had carefully saved. As she adjusted Maya's position to ease the weight on her arm, Jessica's attention was caught by a man walking past carrying a leather messenger bag and expensive-looking luggage. Something about his profile made her breath catch. Ethan. The name escaped before she could stop herself. The man stopped and turned, and Jessica found herself looking into eyes she hadn't seen in 12 years. Ethan Cole, her first love from college, stood before her looking simultaneously familiar and completely transformed. Jessica, Ethan said, recognition and surprise mingling in his expression. I can't believe it's really you. At 35, Ethan had the polished appearance of someone who lived in boardrooms and luxury hotels. His white dress shirt was perfectly pressed, his dark jeans designer, and everything about him spoke of success and affluence. What Jessica didn't yet know was that Ethan was the CEO of Cold Digital Solutions, a tech company he had built from nothing into a business worth hundreds of millions. Hi, Jessica managed, acutely aware of her own worn jeans and faded shirt, the visible exhaustion in her face, and the sleeping child against her shoulder. It's been a long time. 12 years, Ethan said, his eyes taking in the little girl. Is this your daughter, Maya? Jessica confirmed, gently stroking her daughter's hair. She's 7. An awkward silence fell as both processed the unexpected reunion. Their relationship had ended during senior year, a painful breakup that had resulted from diverging life paths and their inability to communicate through differences. Can I sit? Ethan asked, gesturing to the chair across from her. Jessica nodded, and Ethan settled in, placing his expensive bag carefully beside him. You look tired, Ethan said, then immediately winced. I'm sorry, that came out wrong. I just mean you look like you could use some rest. Jessica smiled faintly. Single parenting will do that to you. We've been up since 4 this morning to catch our flight. Where are you headed? Seattle, to visit my sister. It's Maya's first time on a plane. Jessica felt the gap between their lives stretch wider with every word. Here she was celebrating a modest vacation funded by tax returns, while Ethan looked like he could buy first-class tickets without checking his bank balance. I'm heading to Seattle too, actually, Ethan said. Business meeting. He paused, seeming to wrestle with his words. Jessica, I know this is awkward, but would you like to catch up properly? Maybe we could share a cab from the airport, grab coffee or something. Jessica hesitated, pride warring with curiosity. Ethan, I appreciate the offer, but I should be honest with you. I'm not in a place to do expensive coffee shops or fancy restaurants. My sister is picking us up, and our budget is pretty tight. Ethan's expression shifted, showing something that looked like shame. Jessica, I wasn't trying to show off. When I saw you, all I could think was how much I've wondered over the years what happened to you. He looked down at his hands. Can I be honest? I've spent the past 12 years building a company and becoming successful by every external measure. I have money, recognition, all the things I thought would make me happy, but I'm lonely in ways I didn't know were possible. The admission surprised Jessica with its vulnerability. What do you mean? I mean, I've been so focused on business success that I never built real relationships. I dated people who wanted what I could provide rather than who I was. I lost touch with old friends because I was always working. And lately, I've realized that all the money in the world doesn't fill the space where genuine human connection should be. Maya stirred against Jessica's shoulder, and Ethan's expression softened as he watched the little girl resettle. You have something I don't, he said quietly. Someone who loves you unconditionally. Someone you're building a real life with. That matters more than any business deal I've ever closed. Jessica's defensive walls began to lower slightly. Ethan, being a single parent is incredibly hard. I'm not going to romanticize it just because you're feeling lonely. Maya is my world, but I still struggle with exhaustion, money, stress, and wondering if I'm doing enough. I didn't mean to diminish that, Ethan said quickly. I can see things are difficult. I'm just saying, even in hardship, you have something real and meaningful. I've spent years chasing success that feels hollow. Their conversation was interrupted by boarding announcements. Jessica realized they were on the same flight. What seat are you in? Ethan asked. 32B, back of the plane. Middle seat. Ethan checked his ticket. I'm in first class. Jessica, this might sound strange, but would you let me upgrade you and Maya to sit with me? Not as charity, but because I'd genuinely like to spend the flight talking to someone who knew me before all of this. Jessica's instinct was to refuse. But Maya woke just then, blinking sleepily. Mommy, is it time to get on the plane? Soon, sweetheart, Jessica said, then surprised herself. Maya, this is an old friend of Mommy's. His name is Ethan. Hi, Maya, Ethan said warmly. I hear this is your first time flying. Would you and your mom like to sit in the special seats at the front of the plane with me? They're more comfortable, and you'll see everything better. Maya's eyes lit up. Really? Can we, Mommy? Jessica met Ethan's eyes and saw hope mixed with loneliness. Against her better judgment, she nodded. The flight to Seattle became a journey of reconnection. Ethan proved surprisingly good with Maya, engaging her with stories about flying and asking questions about her interests. When Maya fell asleep again between them, Ethan and Jessica talked about the lives they had built. I married someone I barely knew, Jessica admitted. I was 26. He seemed stable and kind, but he wasn't ready for parenting. He left when Maya was 2, and I haven't heard from him since. I'm sorry you went through that alone. I wasn't completely alone. My sister helped, and I had friends. But yes, it was hard. She paused. What about you? You said people were only interested in what you could provide. Ethan nodded. No one seemed interested in the person underneath. Or maybe I just wasn't letting them see him anymore. As the plane began its descent, Ethan surprised them both. Jessica, I know this is forward, but could we stay in touch? Not romantically, necessarily, but as old friends who found each other again. I think we could both benefit from having someone who knew us before, Jessica considered. Ethan, I can't be part of your world of expensive restaurants and luxury experiences. My life is soccer practice, school conferences, and stretching grocery budgets. If we're friends, it has to be on terms that work for both of us. I understand. Honestly, I'd love to experience that normal life. Maybe Maya would let me come to a soccer practice sometime. I could learn what real life looks like for people outside executive suites. Over the following months, Ethan and Jessica developed an unexpected friendship built on honesty. Ethan attended Maya's soccer practices, discovering the joy of cheering small victories. Jessica let him help at times, but always in ways that felt mutual rather than charity. Most importantly, they gave each other what they needed. Jessica gained support without judgment, while Ethan finally found connection not tied to wealth. What began as an accidental airport encounter became a lesson in how success and struggle both isolate and how genuine friendship can bridge that gap. The struggling single mom and the lonely millionaire discovered that neither life was as simple as it appeared, and that sometimes the most valuable thing we can offer is honest acknowledgement of both our struggles and our strengths. Thank you for listening to this story about unexpected reunions and friendships across different circumstances. If this reminded you that success and struggle both come with challenges, and that genuine connection requires honesty about real situations, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in authentic relationships, and subscribe for more stories on emotional top story. We'd love to hear in the comments about unexpected reconnections in your own life or times when friendship bridged seemingly incompatible worlds. Remember, the most meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect and honesty, not on pretending differences don't exist.